Hello everyone, Corey here. I just wanted to jump on before this episode starts and tell you about a slight format change we're making here at Culture Shocked. We realize that listening to a 2+ hour episode is a Herculean task for most of us hardworking folks, but we can't seem to shut up and make them shorter. So, we decided to start splitting them up into part 1 and part 2s for our longer running episodes. You'll still be getting the same great content, just with a slight intermission. Sometimes we're going to release them on Tuesday and Thursday each week. And sometimes, when it's a particularly good and long-running episode, you'll get it in the form of Tuesday to Tuesday. That's a lot of twos. Anyhow, we thank you all for being such loyal listeners and hope this change isn't too stressful for you. But I'm sure you're sick of my rambling, so on to the episode.
Round 1.
Hello, and welcome to Culture Shock, the pop culture podcast brought to you by 4 aging millennials and our outdated opinions. I'm your host today, and with me as always is...
Hey everybody, I'm Adrian, and these chickens are slowing down.
I'm Mike, and it's been a long day. I think we're done here, because around here we put strays down.
I'm Corey, and sometimes we think we have to do it all on our own, but we don't. I mean, I do, but...
I see what you did there.
Son of a bitch.
I used Adonis against you guys.
All right, today we're going to jump into the Creed movies to continue from the episode the other few weeks ago. I can't remember what order these are coming out in anymore.
It's there somewhere.
It's there somewhere. If this is your first time listening, go back and listen to the Rocky episode, then come back and join us for Creed.
Yeah, and like most of these episodes, let's start with the guy who hasn't fucking seen these going into this.
Yeah, right?
It always seems to be Mike.
What are you talking about?
So, Mike, since you are the only one that had not seen these movies prior to going in, what did you think? What did you expect going in? Did you think they would be on the same level as Rocky? Do you think they ended up being on the same level as Rocky?
Do you think they exceeded Rocky?
That's not a possibility.
There was no option C.
Yeah, sorry, Mike. Open mind. Go ahead.
Well, they did exceed Rocky 5.
Well, yeah.
Come on.
I think the band Creed exceeds Rocky 5.
Arms wide open. Yeah, okay. Anyway, I expected these movies to pick up where the last one left off. But to be fair, they're really, like, as far as the name Creed goes, there wasn't really a last one before it. There wasn't a Creed 0.5.
0.5.
0.5. Well, there was. It was that one scene at the beginning where he's in juvie.
Yeah, that's true.
I wasn't sure how I felt about them making Apollo like an adulterer. Did I say that right?
I mean, come on.
I mean, dude.
Did nobody see that?
He was the world champ.
He was the world champ, flashy boxer from the 70s. Come on.
There was something, and I watched both these movies, and I paid attention to both these movies the whole way through. But yet, there's something I'm still confused on. Didn't Apollo have an actual son with his wife?
Yes.
Yeah, he had kids.
But is he in the first Creed movie?
I don't think they show Adonis at all.
Okay, so why didn't they just...
Oh, wait, who in the first Creed movie?
Like his other kid?
His other kid.
I don't actually remember if he had kids.
I'm pretty sure he had a son.
Yeah, she says in the one Rocky movie, can you please put down all the papers and pay attention to us?
Oh, that's
There's
right.
like kids playing in the room.
Yeah, he has multiple kids.
That's why I'm like, why couldn't they just pick one of those fuckers? Why did they have to make a new one?
I mean, partially that's true, but
that's my only gripe. Aside from that,
the problem here, Mike, is with that they wanted to make a movie about a boxer who came up from nothing, and those kids didn't come up from nothing.
But okay, so his beginning life, he kind of came up from nothing, but he was still he was in juvie, and is it Marianne?
Marianne,
right? Yeah, she comes and she rescues him. And which she didn't have to do that.
But think about one of those spoiled kids who grew up. Like, even if they went to training and wanted to avenge their dad, that's not enough of a story to carry a franchise. Like, you need to be more inspired. It's more inspiring to have an illegitimate kid in juvie be kind of rehabbed into a good, slightly dickhead person.
Okay, I accept that.
It's more inspiring to have the man that we all loved be a cheating piece of shit.
Yes. Because that's what Hollywood is now.
Hey, when you had to, if you die in the ring, your name gets tarnished. What can I say?
If he does, he does.
Has anybody Me Too'd Apollo yet?
Moving on from that.
Yeah, his name was Ivan Drago.
Oh. That is so true. Well, actually, Rocky, I think, was more of a...
Rocky's definitely who Me Too'd.
You fuck other woman, I must break you.
Yeah, what they don't tell you in Rocky 4 is that Ivan is actually
The hero.
sticking up. He's just sticking up for women everywhere.
Mike, you have a new one to add to your YouTube series. Ivan's just misunderstood.
I mean, he is. Look at Creed 2.
We'll get there.
In Creed 2, he absolutely is.
But yeah, I
we'll
kind of want to save that for the finale of this
so
episode.
what I will say, I was expecting these movies to be good. One, because of how you guys talked about them, and 90% of the time, your guys' opinions are pretty good for me.
Hey, he complimented us.
There are
I didn't like it,
don't
Mike.
agree.
Go back to normal.
Go fuck yourself.
I feel all icky. There we go. That's
See, every time you
Mike
tell
says, "Shut
Mike
the
to do
fuck up! I'm trying to talk."
Mike will shift his opinion. Next week he'll hate everything we say to him.
I hate everything you're saying to me right now.
See?
Because it's in the middle of Mike trying to say his things.
Right.
Okay. Now we'll shut up. Maybe.
I did. There's a lot of things I liked about this movie. His girlfriend that he ends up with,
Bianca, yeah.
I kind of like, Bianca. I kind of like
awesome.
their first meeting. You know.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna whoop this guy's ass.
He's like, "Can you turn it down?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'll turn it down." And then I think she proceeds to turn it up more. At that point, you don't realize that she's actually like an artist. So
you think she's just listening to music?
Yeah. And meanwhile, she's actually like writing her songs and shit. Which I did. I thought that was nice that they gave her like an actual aspect to her character, not just Donnie's girlfriend.
Yeah, she was actually like trying to be something herself.
Yeah,
that's one area where I'll give these movies props. Like, to me, it just because nostalgia, Rocky and Adrian are always like life goals still. But Bianca does feel more 3-dimensional. She's got like her own challenges and her
all
own
the
goals
characters are really well written in Creed.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I'm not saying anything.
I think most of them were in Rocky as well, though.
Yes, yeah. I'm not saying anything against the Rocky movies with Adrian, because back in that time, like that's just kind of how it was. Like if you're a wife, that's what like it.
Yeah, that's true. It's just product of their time.
It's a product of the time. Yeah. So I mean, there's nothing against Adrian here. I like that she had more to her character.
The only performance that kind of flatlined to me was Apollo. He gave a dead performance.
Michael B. Jordan, where'd that guy come from? I mean, did he even go to school for acting?
No, Apollo.
Oh,
Carl Weathers.
My bad. That's what I meant.
That's totally what I meant. Joke.
Corey, were you just talking shit on Michael B. Jordan?
I was being sarcastic, but
okay.
No, he's great. I fucking
I'm
love
just making sure.
In my book, it goes Michael A. Jordan, LeBron James, then Michael B. Jordan.
Oh, yeah.
It was actual Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
Jesus Christ.
I brought that up again.
Anyway, before we skim past it, back to Tessa Thompson, it's like, I wish you guys would watch Westworld, because she's actually like got some serious wide range, like acting chops.
I mean, I love her in the Marvel movies.
Oh, no. Shut the fuck up.
Yes. Doug slowly coming over to my side. He said, I'm talking about real acting. Don't talk about Marvel movies. No, Mike, I agree with you. I like their first meeting in Philadelphia. They set it up nice how he's coming down the stairs, like just assuming it's a loud neighbor is a guy. He's like, what the hell's this guy doing? I'm going to kick his ass. And then knocks on the door. She answers. He's like, I'm Donnie. She's like, hi, Donnie.
No, even the way like he asks her out, like he tries to play it cool, like I'm not asking you out.
It's not hungry. A date. Yeah, I'm just hungry.
Yeah, but then he procedes to pay for it. She's like, I thought you said this wasn't a date. Like, yeah.
He's like, I invited you out, didn't I?
That's pretty smooth.
That was pretty smooth. Yeah. I do see. Like, I'm totally fine with, and Mike, I think ultimately you're okay with the direction they went with, like, Apollo's love child. I could see a version of the movie where they didn't have to make him an adulteress, but, or an adult. How'd you say it, an adulter?
An adulter, which I'm pretty sure.
Is that how you say it? I don't know.
I think adulteress is a woman, right?
Yeah, it was a woman.
Yeah.
An adulterer is a man.
I see a version of the movie where it's just like one of his biological kids, but Corey makes a good point as well about the struggle.
Yeah, aside from that, because that was my first thought. I'm like, oh, really? Like this kid is not even like her son. what the fuck?
And like you said, it takes a fucking strong woman to take a love child that's not hers, take him in.
Yeah. And,
Catelyn Stark couldn't do it.
I was about to say
and she still loved Apollo. Like, she had nothing bad to say about him through Creed 1 and 2. So I was kind of blown away by that too. Like, you'd think you find out your husband cheated on you, you'd have a couple negative things to say.
I think she honestly saw a lot more of Apollo in Adonis than either of her and the other kids.
100%.
He was quite a bit like him.
She just didn't see a lot of Marianne.
Like zero, basically.
Well, there is that.
Well,
there's that.
We should probably point out that he wasn't even Adonis Creed at the beginning of the movie. He actually starts out the movie as Adonis Johnson.
Yeah.
And then when he starts boxing, he's Hollywood Johnson.
Yeah, and I'd also like to add that he looks nothing like Carl Weathers. What the fuck?
The only thing I said, because even like, Rocky's like, you do kind of look like him a little. That's like, the only thing I noticed is that they made him try to get the same facial hair. Kind of like, how Maverick did that with Rooster.
Didn't Apollo Creed have a mustache?
He had a little.
It was the way it was. It's just the way it looked. I could see how they were trying to get it to look like Apollo Creed's. But let's be honest, I don't think Michael B. Jordan can grow facial hair. So
neither can Adrian. So.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say relatable.
Some people just can't. It's okay.
So I'm pretty much Michael B. Jordan.
Hey guys,
is that all it takes?
That's all it takes.
Adrian, we're like the inverse. You three all wear glasses and I don't, and the three of us all have great beards and you don't. Like...
mine's great. Mine.
All right, I was trying to be nice, guys. Shut up. Mike, you have a good beard.
Well, thank you.
Mike's hairy as fuck. So
yeah. I mean, it's not fair.
It's in his body
everywhere.
Why are people being semi-nice this episode?
Fuck you.
It's like icky. It's icky.
Okay, so guys,
hey, we're all about friendship here at Pop Culture Show.
Friendship. So, real quick before we kind of get into the nitty gritty, Doug, Corey, did you guys see this movie, the first Creed, in theater? Did you see it after? What were your thoughts of this going in? Like, loving Rocky so much, were you worried?
I saw both of them in theaters.
Oh, you did?
Oh yeah, I was a huge Rocky fan, so
I was just excited. Yeah.
When I heard they were doing a Creed movie, I was totally cool with it, gonna go see it in theaters. Then they said that Sylvester Stallone Rocky was in it, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm definitely going to see that because Rocky Balboa is one of my favorite ones that he did in his series, so I wanted to see that continue.
What year did Creed 1 come out?
2015.
2015, which was like 9 years after Balboa.
Was it 9 years?
I worked third shift back then, so I definitely didn't go to the theater.
Speaking of that, I was kind of bummed out, and only because of continuation wise, that Marie wasn't even like remotely a cameo in the first Creed. Like he gets her a job at his restaurant. You see the restaurant quite often.
Yeah.
Where the fuck's Marie?
This isn't a movie about Rocky. That's why.
Yeah, it was many years later. She might have moved on.
Doug, goddammit, Marie, they're not rocks, they're minerals. He said I did there, Marie, Rocky.
Maybe Marie.
This is why it's okay. It's not a movie about Rocky, Adrian.
maybe Marie finally got into the hooking game.
Oh man, that's sad.
That was her whole aspiration in Rocky when she was in there.
Yeah, you creepo.
Screw you, creepo.
Well, she didn't say she wanted to be a prostitute. She was just hanging out with nefarious characters.
A lot of them don't want to.
Yeah, Rocky warned her that that's what would happen.
He did tell her she was going to be a little
right.
Jesus.
Rocky does
Dark.
seem to
Listen,
be
okay,
right
I know
about
the
a lot of
actual
things.
backstory between Rocky Balboa and the first Creed. Sylvester Stallone slept with her and ruined her.
Wait, Stallone or Rocky?
It ruined her. It ruined her in every way possible.
No,
and in her head, she was like a kid again because that's when she met Rocky and that's when he was talking about this. She freaked out, went out and started doing drugs and prostituting. It's sad, but it happens.
That makes sense. That's now
and
canon.
Because nothing was ever written down, I can say that's what happened, and we all have to deal with it.
Sylvester Stallone might be pissed at that, but yeah, because we already know he's not thrilled with the way that Creed's going.
Yeah,
which
the whole
kind of bothers me because they really found a way to take Rocky out of these movies and hand it off to Adonis. It was one of my favorite moments in the second movie.
I don't think that's what he was upset about. Apparently,
no, I know
he's upset that the movies are getting too dark.
Well, yeah, I mean, Stallone
darker
is just...
than him being a roughneck beater for the mob guy. I mean, that was pretty fucking dark.
I think he meant dark, like the cancer, then the baby's born, and it's death, and like there's just no
Yeah, Stallone just said like
There's not a lot of uplifting.
Stallone said he had a whole other idea with Creed 3, like what he would have done with it.
I mean,
And
he wins
because
the
of
fight.
the
Be careful getting into Creed 3, please.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not going to say anything, but just between him and Erwin Winkler now has control of the franchise, and
That's a stupid name.
That's a really bad name.
how the fuck is Erwin Winkler going to go against Sly Stallone?
He looks just as stupid as his name, so it's okay.
Yeah, no,
this guy's probably like a great person or something.
Probably.
No, he's ruined. He's got a star on the Hollywood, Walk of Fame. So
hey,
don't. Him, I guess.
You were about to say something about ruining Rocky. I want you to just
no. I'm saying he pushed Stallone out,
or Stallone sold it, and now he's upset that he no longer has power over it.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing because, like, obviously the feel-good story for Rocky fans is that Stallone should have control. But, like, it's a business, just like anything else. And I don't think he had any huge gripes about, like, Creed 2. Creed 3 is where he's starting to, like... They're exploring darker things, and... I don't want to say too much, never mind.
If I'm not mistaken, this is supposed to be the end of it, right? Creed 3? It was just supposed to be a trilogy?
I have no comment.
Holy shit. Okay. So on July 31st, following the announcement of a Rocky spin-off film in development about the characters of Ivan Drago and Victor Drago, Stallone took to Instagram to express his frustrations about the direction of the expanding franchise, and particularly its longtime producer, Erwin Winkler. In a since-deleted post, the actor called the 91-year-old producer and his children, Charles and David, vultures and parasites, who says are exploiting the franchise. Earlier in July, the actor posted another, also now deleted Instagram, of portrait of the producer as a serpent, voicing frustrations that he had allegedly been deprived an equity stake in the Rocky franchise. So I believe that Stallone never actually had the rights to Rocky.
Right.
I think that however it was to get his film made for the first time, I think this Erwin Winkler has always been in charge, but he's always just let Stallone do his own thing.
Well, even in this movie, Stallone rewrote all the parts of that Rocky was in himself.
Yes, he did. Yeah, he said every period, every comma,
everything.
Which makes sense because he knows how that character needs to act.
Yeah, that was his whole thing, is he wanted him to be portrayed the correct
Who knows
way.
the fucking Italian Stallion better than the Italian Stallion?
Right.
It's him as a person.
And ironically, I think this might be his best performance in any of these movies.
Carl Weathers said that same thing. When asked, he's like, this is the best work Sylvester Stallone's ever done.
Talking about the first Creed?
Yeah. He was absolutely robbed not getting the best supporting actor for that movie.
Yeah, he should have won it that year.
Just for every scene he was in was fucking, like, he brought the humor with the fucking shadow boxing. There's a W in shadow. And then Michael B. Jordan, he's like, hey, don't you want this list? He's like, no, I got it in here. What if that thing breaks? Oh, it's already up in the cloud.
He's like, what cloud?
what cloud?
Like he played it well.
Yeah,
he really knows Rocky.
Especially, spoiler alert, when he finds out he has cancer and he's having trouble.
Yeah.
Very good. Never seen Sylvester Stallone act quite that good before.
Yeah, that's pretty rough too. And
he actually had cancer, so it was just him.
you can't.
That's a method actor right there.
I can't.
I gave myself cancer just so I could beat it.
Oh, we weren't supposed to tell you that, huh?
You can't fight cancer in a ring, right?
Rocky 20.
I had to stop myself from spitting Dr. Pepper everywhere.
You could just put him in the ring with a giant crab. That's the cancer horoscope, like the
cancer horoscope. I would watch Rocky versus Giant Crab.
Me too.
If I've learned anything from Metal Gear Solid.
What if Rocky? Yeah, right. What if Stallone went to Michael B. Jordan and pitched him? Okay, hear me out. Next movie, right? Me versus a crab.
But not just any crab. Yeah, you see, it'd be like a giant one,
like a really big one,
a really big crab.
I'm gonna have to go with no, Stallone.
Are you like allergic or something?
Okay, hold on. Hear me out. 2 crabs.
But hear me out. The ghost of Buttkiss comes back and helps me fight 2 crabs.
Hey, Buttkiss!
In the 2 crabs, the manager's a horse.
Oh God! Here
me versus a horse while riding another horse.
This is when you know it derails with us when horses.
Yeah,
come in.
we're going too far if there's
So-
horses.
All right, Mike, what were you saying?
I was gonna say, I feel really bad. It's a really touching scene. Like you get why he does this, like why he originally declines the treatment because everything that happened with his wife.
I mean,
Well, because everyone
just-
else that he's ever known and loved is dead.
yeah,
And his
Because
wife
all that's
went-
left is his son. And,
she had ovarian cancer and died trying chemo, so he doesn't believe in
and
it.
Paulie's dead.
Well, I'm glad Paulie's dead.
I know he has a son, but I said everyone he's ever known or loved. So
no. But which you said a son, but he has two sons.
no, he has. Oh yeah, that's right. Tommy the Machine Gun.
No, he has three sons.
3. I only know of Adonis Creed and
Yeah.
Tommy the Machine Gun.
Oh, yeah.
Tommy the
Fuck,
Machine
fuck Robert.
Robert didn't do anything.
You that stranger?
He's like the most innocent character.
I know.
He didn't want to
Except
live
for when he was except for when he was being a little bitch in Balboa about living in his dad's shadow.
Yeah, well, it's a big shadow. Hear me out. 3 crabs.
Li-
And that's how called a callback.
and you just hear from the director chair, Sly.
Right. What? I brought the crabs,
I'll provide the crabs.
Rock, you can't fight a giant crab. I told you that.
Hey, wait, hear me out. I'll fight Cuff and Link, the turtles.
Adrian, how do you feel about the drama and the characters versus the Rockies? Because I know you care about that kind of shit a lot.
So here's what I'll say. All the guys in these movies, just like in Rocky 5 with Tommy Machine Gun, they're actual boxers, first time actors,
Yeah.
and they all do way better than him.
Hey, man, it's a different time.
Yeah, maybe that's to Doug's point. Acting has kind of raised the bar now compared to, but all those guys are not actors. Pretty Ricky and Victor Drago. None of those guys are actual actors.
Yeah, Victor Drago is actually a real MMA fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that dude's
Yeah.
fucking big.
His name's
He's a
Florian
machine.
Montanou. He's he didn't have much of a career. He was more of an actor in Russia, but he was
Yeah.
a fighter.
He's a monster.
It's just like
Yes.
Idris Elba. He's done some fights, but he's not
Yeah.
it's not like his career.
Yeah.
That first fight between him and Creed, where you're just looking at the difference between them. I'm like, oh my god,
Even when they walk
Creed's
up to each
gonna
other,
die.
When they walk up to each other in the ring, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, here's one thing I have to ask about all these movies, including Rocky. Are they aware that weight classes exist?
I know.
I was thinking that.
No. Once you're at heavyweight in World Championship Boxing, there is no super heavyweight. It's everything above a certain point.
So
is
anything
heavyweight.
above a weight?
That's why Tyson Fury can come into the ring at 220 or at 210 or 285, and he's still in the same weight class. 'Cause
Okay, that's
once you're
fair.
in heavyweight, you're in heavyweight.
Right.
Well, I'm glad Doug's here with the boxing knowledge because I have
Right.
no fucking
Thanks,
idea.
Max Kellerman.
I'm gonna tell you, when you get into the ring with a monster and he has 6 inches on you, you're a fucking idiot.
Mike Tyson did it a lot.
Right.
He was in heavyweight, just like all those other guys.
Mike
Rocky
Tyson
did
was
it.
more of an animal than Adonis Creed.
Yeah.
Adonis Creed is dangerous. Okay,
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
dangerous.
That's what he says over and over again.
At the end of 2, that's so good.
I do.
love
Yeah, it does. It does have a payoff.
Oh, the final, when Rocky says it to him, it has a payoff, but
Yeah, and he's clearly in horrible pain, and
And that was a good parallel to when Rocky tells Apollo in Rocky 4. He said, this guy's dangerous. And Apollo says, I'm dangerous. Like father, like son kind of thing.
Yeah, there is a lot of similarities between.
But
both
Mike, you're
Creeds.
right.
Yes.
Everybody makes a note of Rocky says it. Bianca says, I do see the similarity. And I'm like, really?
Like I said, I see that. I really think they were trying with the facial hair, but Michael B. Jordan just couldn't.
you know
grow
what
it,
they
so were
they
like,
should have
well,
taken a note. They should have taken.
They were
a
like
note
good enough.
from that really successful movie called Looper with Bruce.
I think Michael B. Jordan should have had reconstructive face surgery.
Well, from what I hear, he is a bit of a method.
I think
actor,
it should have
so
just
he
been Carl
probably-
Weathers.
He probably would have. Would you say, Mike?
I said I think they should have just pulled a Disney and brought
That
Carl
they
Weathers.
could
in
have
and
deep
de-aged
fake
him.
Carl Weathers' face onto his Michael B. Jordan's body.
I think they should have had fucking Carl Weathers replaced by Oh, Doug, what's his name? Your favorite actor? Lando Calrissian. Billy D. Williams. Hey, everybody, I'm Apollo Creed.
Dude, he might be my least favorite actor of all time.
Both Carl Weathers and Billy D. Williams have been in
Hold
the
on,
Star Wars
I can do.
universe,
Hold on,
so-
I can do this as Billy D. Williams. I'm dangerous.
No.
Wait, that was too much emotion.
Yeah, I was gonna say act
Okay,
25% less than that.
Okay, I got this. I'm dangerous. No, that was a little too smooth.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
too smooth.
I'm dangerous.
I'm dangerous, Kim, in me. Oh, no, he's back.
Man, he's back.
Wait a-
I'm
Wow.
dangerous, that cube.
Thought we locked him. I thought you locked him up in your basement.
Is that a Nick Swartzen reference?
Oh, man, we used to do it on this podcast.
No.
Adrian got his lightsaber at Amazon.com.
Yeah, remember when I had a
Oh, yeah.
lightsaber?
Dude, that was so long
I still
ago.
do, but have you
I
guys
still
seen my
do, but-
lightsaber?
I honestly forgot about that.
It goes together like Rocky and lightsabers.
Sly
Sly
Stone.
Sly Stone?
Sly Stone is going to be in the next Star Wars movie.
Darth Slystone.
Okay, hear me out. What if we take out the star? I'm just stone. And I fight 3 crabs.
See, in the Star Wars universe with the lightsaber, he could have fought 3 crabs.
That's true.
That's true, very true.
They would
Or certain planets, they might just be giant crabs.
Yeah, giant.
Dun, dun, dun. Stone, quit doing the theme with your mouth.
No,
Dun, 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 dun.
Rocky
Welcome to
wouldn't have fought 3
Crabnulia.
crabs, but Rambo definitely would have fought. 3
There you go.
Rambo for sure.
With nothing but like
Rambo
a
fucks.
twig and a home handmade bow.
Rambo definitely fucks.
Actually, between the two franchises, we've only know that he fucks as Rocky.
I don't think Rambo fucks anything.
Yeah, right. Rambo might not fuck.
What if Rocky went out to the jungle with boxing gloves and Rambo went into a boxing ring with machine guns?
And Bowie knives.
I think Rambo wins.
He's like, I must break the.
No, you never answered my question about the characters.
He said 4 crabs.
Oh yeah,
That's
4 crabs.
That
That's
was the
what I
answer
wanted to
this
say.
question.
Wait, so what are you saying? What do I think about the drama?
Like you kind of got into the whole like you think the acting just
The
today
acting is
versus
better.
then, just overall. But
Yeah.
like, from there, what do you think about the actual like written characters that you're seeing on screen?
I think Victor's
Versus old ones.
really good. Victor Drago. I
Yes.
like that. I think Creed 2
I love that movie.
Creed 2 is great at giving more character to, first off, Ivan. Makes him less of just like a cartoon character.
Yes. Oh, he had more than 9 lines. It was nice.
Well, he got much better at English since.
Yeah, he did. He had many years to
That's
work
also
on it.
true.
No, but I loved Victor. I mean, I'm not going to talk about it too much, but if you guys have heard anything about Jonathan Majors, probably the best
I mean,
antagonist of the entire Creed
I'm
series.
just going to assume Jonathan Majors is amazing.
He's
so.
he's amazing in that movie. But the first movie, I mean, they kind of just felt a little generic to me, a little Machine Gun Tommy, but I mean, much better actors. I do like the beginning of Creed, how he kind of gets humbled in the ring by what's his name?
Oh, wait, the guy who beats him?
Wheeler.
Yeah, the
For
guy that
his
beats,
for his Mustang?
yeah,
The stunt man?
the stuntman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like how he gets humbled at the beginning of the movie. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So it gives him a little personal stake with Wheeler, but then he fucks up and he has to fight Pretty Ricky Conlon because Wheeler and Conlon's confrontation. I like at the beginning of Creed 2 how they kind of make it known that Creed fought this guy outside of his prime, like outside of his window,
Yeah.
because they say like a couple of
Yes,
years
that was
ago,
pretty good.
Creed would have been down from that hit.
Yeah, he's like a couple years or 3 years ago, that would have been a knockout.
For sports fans, it's all about the narrative. You know, that's what keeps people coming back. So if you have a guy fighting a young Adonis at like 28, fighting this guy that's 35 years outside of his prime, like in boxing, you can fucking grow old overnight. You really can.
Oh, yeah.
So
like fuck, 28-year-olds are considered like
exactly
retirement age.
right.
Yeah. I definitely consider these 2 Creed movies more sports movies than the Rocky movies.
I could.
Really?
Remember how we talked about that the last episode?
I would say Rocky.
I think there's a lot more boxing. There's a lot more boxing in these movies
I don't
as
think there
opposed to.
is.
It's only like the last 15-20 minutes generally, like the major fight
Well,
of the movie.
yeah, but Creed.
It seems more focused.
Yeah, I
around
mean, Creed
boxing,
2,
not
Creed
not
2,
just-
he does fight Wheeler. Then he fights Victor once and loses. Then he fights Victor again. So there's, I mean, I see what you're saying. I think
you know what I mean
think
by,
Rocky
like,
3
the fight though, like the main.
Yeah, I know
fight.
what you mean. But I think Rocky 3 and Rocky 4 kind of contend with that because they're more about the boxing.
Yeah, like Rocky 3 and 4 definitely both.
But that's also because 3 and 4 were under 2 hours, so you were able to focus on the boxing more. If you really boil it down, I don't know that time-wise there's more boxing in 3 and 4. I think it's because they were shorter movies. It felt more focused on boxing.
Are they shorter?
Yeah,
That could
they're
be.
shorter.
Yeah,
Okay.
by like one's 15 minutes shorter, and the
Wow.
other one's like a half hour shorter.
It was kind of my problem with Rocky 2 with the whole hospital scene. Could have been much shorter.
Yeah, well, Rocky movies came out before every movie had to be 2.5 hours.
That's true.
You know, I don't hate that movies are 2.5 hours though.
I don't either.
Personally.
But there's a lot of people out there. I actually listened to a thing today that the guy said, I can't believe that with Michael B. Jordan's Creed 3, it is under 2 hours long. What are they going to do with that? Like, that's a condensed Rocky movie. I was like, what?
They're like, that's not enough time to.
It's not a condensed Rocky movie.
Look, to me, as far as like the time of a movie goes, is really depending on like the genre and what kind of movie it is. Because like a drama like, you know, Rocky, and like it needs to be
I mean,
2
I
hours
agree.
long. Like you need that story build up. You need all that. But like a rom-com
Almost
overextends
overextends itself at 2
Like,
hours.
You don't need Dumb and Dumber 3 to be 2 hours long.
See,
No, God.
I think
No,
any
no.
movie can be that long if it's written to be that long.
If it's done right.
Yeah,
yes,
I don't think
but-
there's like an optimal length for a movie, honestly. Like I've sat down and I watched 5
It's actually
hour movies, I've sat
97
down-
minutes.
Yeah, right. Why does that number stand out so much? Anyway, lots of movies are 97 minutes.
Yeah, actually, I feel like that's a thing.
But like I was saying, what was I saying? You
Like
distracted me.
you've watched movies that are
Yeah, like I've seen 5+ hour movies, and I've seen like fucking barely an hour long movies. Like
right.
it just depends on the story that they're trying to tell. In my opinion, I don't think there is like a sweet spot.
Land Before Time. Barely an hour.
Is it barely an hour?
True.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like 57 minutes or something. It seems like it was longer when you were a kid, but it's actually less than an
So
hour
does
long.
Titanic, but it's really not that long. It's
Compared to movies
standard
now,
length.
yeah, it's kind of typical.
The Batman dwarfs it.
Yeah, by like 20 minutes. I think.
But the Batman needed to dwarf it because that's a fucking
So is
amazing
Titanic.
masterpiece.
Check out our Batman episode. Hey, Mike, fuck off.
Yeah,
Mike.
you don't like love. So.
I've never seen the Titanic.
Jesus.
Dude.
But real quick, this was crazy when this happened, especially the guy who did it, because we were talking about Ryan Coogler. This
Yeah.
guy, he had one at this time though. He only had like one big movie. He was still a fairly indie director. So for this guy to come to Sylvester Stallone and be like, "Hey, I think we could boot back up Rocky,"
But not only did he like come to Sylvester Stallone with it, Sylvester Stallone was adamantly against it until
yes, he was
sitting down and really talking with him and like hearing some shit and
right.
stuff, and he like convinced him to do this against
Yeah.
his like.
I was to say Ryan Coogler I mean, at this point he's establishing himself, but he's a bit of a new and up-and-comer that's not going anywhere. I think he's going to do great things.
Not going anywhere. He sucks.
He's not. He's staying right where he's at.
He's never going anywhere.
Coogler's the same as Jonathan Majors, like at this point. Like anything they do going forward, I'm in.
Yeah.
Hey, Kang the Conqueror's Jonathan Majors.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
He's having a big fucking year already.
There he
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, but no, for this indie director to
One
come
of
in,
his movies is good, right?
Mike, you haven't even seen either of them.
I haven't seen it.
Wait, he hasn't seen what?
Quantumania.
Quantumania or Creed
God
3.
damn it.
So with Coogler coming in, Doug, like you said, he did pretty much convince Stallone, like,
Yeah.
because his dad was going through his own sickness. That's where like the cancer storyline came from.
And he
it
was also a major fan of Rocky, which made him grow up as a fan of Rocky. So.
Yeah, and that was a mix of also Stallone's wife kind of talking him into it, saying like, I think this could be, if you are going to reboot it, I think this is a great direction to go for it.
And I mean, it absolutely is.
Yeah, so me forever being the fucking, the whatever you want to call me, the critic,
This stupid
The
asshole.
Cynic.
the cynic,
The
yeah,
cynic?
I
Oh,
fucking
okay, so not stupid asshole, my bad.
the stupid, yeah.
No, cynic just means stupid asshole.
me
Oh,
being
okay.
so me being the stupid
Semantics.
asshole. I was skeptical about this because I loved Rocky so much. Knowing Hollywood even back in 2015, it felt like all the potential was there for a fucking lazy cash grab, cashing in on a franchise. Think Jurassic World movies, think Star Wars sequels. So that's my mind. I was very skeptical about this Creed movie.
Sorry, I checked out. What?
My name is Adrian Skywalker. But,
God.
somehow
back.
Culture Shock has returned.
Back again.
Yeah, but I was very skeptical of it. I thought it was a bad idea. I'll be the first to say I was one of those people. I'm like, why are you doing this? You're going to ruin the legacy of Rocky. And Creed's amazing. Like, the first movie, I don't know exactly where I'd rank it off the top of my head, but the first Creed might be 2 or 3 in the whole franchise for me.
We'll get to that later.
It wasn't Michael B. Jordan's best movie that year, though. He also was in Fantastic Four that year.
I hope you actually... I hope somebody, like, spits on you tomorrow when you're at work.
They already did it today.
I just think I vomited in my mouth.
I wasn't even at work.
So many moments in that first movie, just fucking heartfelt moments. I love Rocky finally agreeing to train Creed. Rocky seeing the inside of Mick's gym for the first time in how many years?
I thought that dude that he was friends with that was training his own son, I thought they were going to be a much bigger problem than they were. Like, I thought he was going to, like, try to sabotage him really bad after.
Man, he was the one that kind of brought the Creed thing to the news.
Yeah, right. I mean, he did fuck that up, but, like, and Rocky even asked him, like, yeah, it's just... Like, the way that the direction that was going, it just seemed like they were going to be a bigger problem than they were. Which, I mean, I'm not upset that they weren't. It kind of seems like a storyline that wasn't, like, fully
I think the movie
explored.
moved past that level. They kind of fell off because there was more important things to base the movie on,
Yeah, once Creed took his pre-fight shit and beat his son.
I love that in the second one, yeah.
I love that in the I love that in the second one when she signs to him. Did you shit?
I love in the first movie when she doesn't know much sign language and he's like, what is that? She's like, come on, this is a bowl.
Yeah,
he's like,
favorite bullshit.
Yeah, the fucking she's explaining what did you? It's so funny because when I went to college, we had a lot of kids there from Philly that went to IUP, and fucking the thing about John, it's totally a thing. John is a Philly thing. John means everything.
I worked somewhere where we helped troubled youths from Philadelphia, and every single item they wanted me to hand me that John right there.
It's a John.
And it got to the point where I'd be like, if you don't say the name of the item, I'm not giving it to you. Because there's 15 things on a table. Hand me that John right there. I don't know which one it is. Another kid would walk over and grab it and hand it to him. Like, how the fuck did you know what he was talking about?
That's when you pick up the fucking table and throw everything at them.
Yeah, that was kind of against my contract.
Clearly, he just went and picked up that John right there, you idiot.
That's true.
Corey, what if the kid was asking for a John Mayer album that was on the table?
Oh,
Have that John.
Can you hand me that, John? Hey, he wanted "Slippery When Wet" by John Bon Jovi.
It was a little action figure of a toilet.
I thought it was a Johnny Cash picture or something.
Maybe he was looking for "All of Me" by John Legend.
What if it's a whole table just full of those things we're talking about?
Johnny Cash,
then
John
I don't know
Mayer.
what to hand them.
Oh my god!
Just a bunch of fucking Johns.
Okay, so what do you guys think? Like, biggest give you chills moment in the first Creed, or goosebumps? I think I'll tell mine first, so you guys have a minute to think. In the final round, first of all, when Stallone's talking to him in the corner, and Creed says, you can't throw this fight because I need to prove it. And he says, prove what? He says, prove I wasn't a screw-up. And then, when fucking Creed stands up and the original Rocky theme starts playing, oh my god.
How do you think Robert Balboa would feel about that comment?
I don't even know who that is. Who's Robert?
Some asshole took Rocky's last name.
Yeah, to me that's just 4 crabs in a trench coat. I don't know how they talk.
In a trench coat.
It really was 4 crabs.
What do 4 crabs in a trench coat sound like? Or Robert. They're like, wait, what? They're like, why did you say where is plural? I'm Robert.
Anyway.
All right, guys. Biggest goosebump moment. You got one that maybe I didn't steal?
Well, you already stole mine.
Yeah, mine too.
I gotta go with when he stood up and the theme started playing.
Oh my god.
Probably my favorite, one of my favorite moments in all of Rocky.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
history.
Honestly, anytime I'm watching something that's based off a legacy character and they play like a tone of the old theme, even if it's like remixed or something, for some reason I just get chills every time if it's not my love.
Yeah. Oh, that was something I wanted to talk about. I love that both movies, and it was a different version each time. Fucking like they remixed the old Rocky theme into his training.
What they did
montage.
so well is they fucking remix it through the movie, and then right at the end of the movie, it just plays the original Rocky theme. That's so fucking good.
They play
It's
the
like-
yes. We call that fan service done right.
But it's not even just fan service. It's like a great way to showcase the character development.
You're right. It's also
Yeah,
a good way to show respect to the original.
Yeah, not just that, but he's like that remixed version at first. But by the time he's done training and he's the guy in the fight, that he
Yeah,
is
exactly.
the same. Yeah, he's standing there.
He's no longer Adonis Little Dick Creed.
Yeah, he's Hollywood Johnson.
He's Hollywood Johnson.
Adonis Little Dick Johnson.
I think Hollywood Johnson was better.
Mad respect for him to try to make it on his own, though, and not use his dad's name. I mean, because he could have easily got so much further.
I love that he embraced it finally.
Well, Pretty Ricky's like publicist said, if he doesn't change his name, then we're not doing it.
Was it Creed 1 or Creed 2 when he stood up and the ref asked him who he was and he just yelled Creed?
That's Creed 2, because he just got his fucking bell wrong.
Yeah.
The ref's like, this isn't inspiration, literally. What the fuck's your name?
I'm not trying to be inspiring here, bro.
I'm Balboa. No, you're not.
Well, this fight's done.
Rocky's like, hey, kid, that's me.
I'm Rocky's son.
I'm fucking, fuck, I forgot Rocky's actual son's name.
Robert.
I'm Robert.
No. I said Rocky's son,
Four
Adrian.
crabs in a trench coat.
Oh, yeah,
You
I'm
guys
sorry.
keep going back
I'm
to
Tommy.
Robert. Who the fuck is Robert?
What's your name? I'm Adrian. Hey, that's not funny.
She's dead. Hey, she's dead, you know. That's not funny.
I did kind of I like that he brings a bottle for Polly's grave.
That's how you know Paulie's actually dead.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
4 giant crabs in a trench coat.
That's
That's one thing I know about 4 giant crabs in a trench coat. They love liquor.
They love the sauce. No, but it was fucking hilarious when Adonis moves into his house and he's like, "Whose room with this?" He's like, "Oh, it was my best friend Paulie," even though he wasn't very friendly. Totally acknowledges.
Yeah.
I love that.
That was
I love
perfect.
that Sly gave Rocky all those funny, like quick lines like that he had in the old Rocky movies. Like when he's looking at the mailbox, hey, look at that, it's a real good mailbox, and oh, look at these bricks, look at these bricks. Like Rocky always had those funny, just real quick throw off lines.
Yeah, like I don't know if Rocky was a better trainer, like by definition, than Mick or Apollo, but like the inspirational speeches he gives, like every fucking 2 minutes. It's like, God, this guy always says exactly what you need to hear.
He makes you try harder. He fires you up.
It helps that he's the one that writes the fiery lines.
Yeah, exactly. That's why he rewrote it.
That just says a lot about Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
I would almost guarantee that Apollo and Mick are far better trainers.
By definition.
They weren't, but you're right,
mean,
they weren't the greatest motivational speakers as far as
Rocky took all of his experience and both of their styles and helped it.
Yeah, Doug, I saw this funny thing you'd appreciate. It said a comment on a video was, when Rocky Balboa is in the party, all party members receive 15% physical damage increase and 12% attack speed.
That's great.
And it's
Like
true.
Balboa buff.
Every time Rocky's in his corner, he fucking kicks ass.
Hold on, I'll roll for dexterity.
Yeah, boy.
Just don't roll for intelligence, you know?
No,
All right,
no, I have a D1 dice for intelligence.
Earlier I called these 4 crabs in a trench coat myself. I'm Robert.
That's
That's
Rocky.
the
That's
4
because they were your
crabs.
son.
I'm Robert. We're Robert. I actually want to point out, I really like that. Usually I hate this in a movie, but I actually really love that in that final fight with Pretty Ricky, they have Adonis do almost exactly what Rocky did with Creed knocking his defender down for the first time ever, goes the distance, but the defender wins.
Yeah.
I like that they did like the exact same kind of ending to Creed 1 that they did with Rocky 1.
Somehow it worked in these movies, but I was definitely drawing parallels to honestly with both of them, like Rocky 1 to Creed 1.
They're supposed to be
very similar. They're almost the same movie, and then Rocky 2 was very similar to, or Creed 2 is very similar to Rocky 2 because he asks his girlfriend to marry him. They get pregnant.
Oh, yeah.
They have the baby. There's something wrong.
There's actually some
all these things,
subtle genius to the Rocky 1 and Creed 1 stuff. Remember when Mick goes to see Rocky and like gives him a speech about I have experience that and stuff that you don't know that I can teach you?
Yeah, right.
It was basically that same situation.
Yeah.
Is like he already knew that lesson, so he was able to just get him there.
Right. I love how Adonis fucking sought out Rocky Balboa. As soon as like that's the reason he went to Philly.
Yeah.
After his mom told him no, he didn't listen.
Right.
He did grow up in basically child prison, so what do you expect?
I did finally learn who won the third fight.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why Doug didn't. He's like, damn it, we can't say anything until he watches these movies.
I know.
Okay, here's the thing. Do you believe Rocky? Do you think Apollo won the third fight? Or do you think he was doing it out of respect?
I do.
I actually believe it because Apollo was more hungry to prove himself against Rocky than Rocky was ever about their fights.
Right, yeah, Apollo hit him with that dope line like, you fight great, but I'm a great fighter.
Like, even if you look at Rocky 4, and he's talking to his son, he's got the bruise on his eye from the fight with Apollo, and he's just talking to him. And
yes,
he's like,
who got you that hat? A friend. Who gave you that black eye? Same friend.
Same friend.
A friend. Yeah. So like the way he says that actually leads me to believe he did lose.
You can have a black eye and win a fight.
I'm talking about the connotation in which Rocky speaks when he's like talking about the bruise on his eye. Like he's like the same friend. Like it almost seems like a slight disappointment that he lost.
It also could, I don't know, because honestly, I feel like Rocky was just being humble because that's his friend who's dead, and
I feel like you have your idea of Rocky is.
I mean, that very well could be too.
No way he could have lost.
Me?
Yeah.
No, I just think when they had that little sparring session, Rocky was literally in the height of his training, and Apollo kind of was only in the trainer training. I think Rocky was in more shape. He was more fight ready.
Rocky just embarrassed fucking Clubber Lang. I don't hate Balboa.
Plus, like they even mentioned in that movie, he's quite a few years older than Rocky, even though in real life he's only 2 years older, I think.
Right.
But in the movie, I think he's supposed to be 8 or 9 years older. So I think Rocky won. He just took it easy on Creed because they're friends now.
Yeah. I'll say like during that match, I don't think either of them went fucking all out.
No.
I think it was like a sparring match between two friends where, I mean, they were hitting each other in the face and shit, but I don't think one knocked the other one unconscious.
We're all drawing a lot of conclusions from a flash screen of almost hitting punches that we saw from 40 years ago.
Doug, if you look at the freeze frame, Rocky had the inside track. He had Apollo's jaw right there.
Look,
dude, Apollo had his eye right there.
Yeah, that's true. But not his bad eye.
listen, all I know, I've never heard Rocky lie, so...
You also don't personally know Rocky, so...
Oh, guys, also, Rocky isn't a real person.
I know.
There's that, too.
You don't know me.
Hey, no. They acknowledge that they're in the same universe as Rocky Marciano in the first Rocky movie. There's no way he's a fake person.
That's true.
Yeah. Did you acknowledge Adrian's Jesus chain while you were at it?
I did.
I do not get the right.
He said, I'm never going to get this. Oh, and then, another moment that choked me up. At the end when they're interviewing Adonis, and he says, like, if your dad was here right now, what would you tell him? Like, Michael B. Jordan is such a good fucking actor.
He is.
That, like, he had me emotional. He's like, I'll just tell him I love him. I know he didn't leave us on purpose. And, like, the little choke up in his voice when he says, I'm proud to be a Creed. And he, like, looks around, and he's just realizing how proud he really is of his name.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it gets me.
I think that's probably one of the ones that I
mean, for the love of fucking God, in the last 10 years, he's been Adonis Creed, he's been Killmonger, and he's been Johnny Storm. So, I mean, he's got like a hell of a repertoire under his belt.
He's had two decent roles, and then
is not like the
he's
other.
been Johnny Storm.
Literally the epitome of character.
Yeah. He's had two really good roles, and then
he was also in Chronicle with a Dane DeHaan.
Oh God, he was in Chronicle. He was one of the friends.
He was.
Holy shit.
He was actually really good in that movie.
Dane DeHaan sounds like a made-up name, but I know it's
Dane DeHaan is the Green Goblin in the Andrew
Amazing Spider-Man.
It is a real... Dane DeHaan's Terrible Goblin, but a great actor.
You're a fraud, Spider-Man.
Just not so good in those.
Just not great though.
He was not that bad.
But that's for another. Guys, check out our Spider-Man. Wait, don't. Is that the one?
You definitely don't watch
That's
that.
the one you're drunk.
Adrian doesn't remember. He was an alcoholic in the dark days.
I mean, do it. Don't do it. You probably shouldn't do it, but we can't stop you.
It all just came to me like a fucking scary flashback. I'm like, what? Wait, is that the episode?
Any more to say about Creed 1?
Yes. Yeah, actually, Adrian, I think one of the moments that actually kind of chokes me up a little bit, it's not as big of a moment, but
Yeah.
just to give you a different one, because we all kind of gave the same one.
Yeah.
I kind of like that Conlon tells him he's the future.
Oh yeah.
Like in his ear, he's like, "Man, you're the future. You're what this is all about." Like that kind of
Like
gets me.
go take the belt. Like this is
Yeah.
your division now.
Like I like that he kind of accepted him. He almost earned his respect.
Now, would Conlon have said that had he not been going to prison for 7 years?
I don't know.
Or would he say, "I'll beat your ass in a rematch"?
He was being forced into retirement, so I think he was giving up that persona of I gotta fuck the next guy up.
Yeah, and he's like, if someone's gonna take the reins, then
Yeah.
you're the kid to do it.
Because I mean, a lot of people when they're about to go into retirement, they lose that competitive edge a little bit, and they can appreciate the newcomers.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that was kind of maybe what it was.
Okay, yeah.
But of course, the movie ends with them going up the famous steps outside the Museum of Natural History.
I'm definitely glad that they incorporated the statue again, because was it 4? Was it 3 or
3's when it's put
3,
up.
4, or 5 where they said, yeah. So it was either 4 or 5. I think it's 5 where they mentioned that the statue was taken down, even though they just moved it from the top to the bottom.
Which actually, in the Creed movies, it's at the bottom of the steps again. Fucking Ivan and Victor watching people take pictures in front of Rocky's statue. He's so pissed off.
But here's the thing: people run up those fucking stairs like with their hands up and stuff, like from the first Rocky when they're there. You guys didn't see Rocky. How do you know that's what he did? Like all these people are like running up the stairs and going like,
That's true. That wasn't filmed for the people of Philadelphia.
exactly. Wait, maybe Rocky does.
I'm gonna assume in a GQ article when he mentioned that.
One of those episodes of like break down your characters. Like, yeah. Everyone's like, yeah.
And I was all like, "Ooh."
They were like, I'm gonna assume he means he jogged up some steps and
We have to translate this Rocky Balboa style.
I'm gonna poke a hole in this. Rocky 2, all of those kids 100% saw him go up the steps.
No.
Okay,
Here,
that
fan
is
theory.
true.
Fan theory. All those kids were ghosts of the kids that Rocky murdered because he actually was a serial killer.
This got
And he
fucking
used the
dark.
excuse of traveling for boxing as a way to find new marks while he's in those areas.
That's dark.
I took that to a place that had no business going. I'm sorry. Any last thing to say about Creed 1 before we move on to Creed 2, guys?
Mike, you have something to say?
Yeah, hold on. I do. Creed 1, it was awesome.
Thanks, Mike. You always know the exact right thing to say. Anyway, if you want to catch any of us on any of our other projects, you can catch Adrian at youtube.com/Baker Reviews. That's youtube.com/Baker Reviews. Thank you, me. Okay, and if you want to go to any of our socials and let us know what you think of this first half of this episode, or just us in general, we like to hear what you think of us sometimes. On Facebook, it's Culture Shock Podcast. On Instagram, it's Culture Shock 21. And on Twitter, where I do most of my work, it's CS Podcast 21. Come on over there, let us know what you think. Also, go anywhere you get your podcasts and rate us 5 stars and give us a review. It really does help. But that's going to do it from all of us here at Culture Shock. Thanks for listening. See you all in part 2. Hello, and welcome to Culture Shocked, the pop culture podcast brought to you by 4 aging millennials and our outdated opinions. Last week, we gave you part 1 of our Creed special. This week, we bring you part 2. So, as the great Rocky Balboa once said, you can't learn anything when you're talking. As long as you're talking, you're not listening. But we're talking in this episode. And now you're listening? Okay, I'm confused. Anyhow, enjoy the episode. Round 2.
Now, before we talk about Creed 2, I want to ask this question right now. Creed 1 or Creed 2, which did you prefer, Corey?
Creed.
2.
Oh, fuck, sorry.
All right, Corey.
really, that's a hard question to answer, but because one, I went to theaters to see one with expectations of it being, another Rocky movie. This is going to be okay. Maybe they won't fuck it up. To leaving the theater very happy and hoping there was more. But when I went and saw 2, I felt more during 2. I think there was more. I like the hard-hitting moments. I like that it's going a little darker. And 2 had significantly more dark moments than 1 did. So I think it hit me a little harder. So I think I enjoy 2 just slightly more.
Yeah, those moments seemed dark, but they were in Russia. Those are just normal moments there.
That's everyday life.
Yeah. In Russia, they call that a Tuesday.
All right. Yeah, Mike, your turn.
To answer your question, Doug, I definitely prefer 2 over 1. Not nothing against 1. I love both of them very much. It's just I felt same as Corey. The story was more compelling to me. It was nice to kind of see Donnie get fucked up and have to like fight back to get his psyche back, kind of like how Rocky had 2 and 3. So it was. I don't know. There's just I think there's a lot more to 2 than there was 1.
I agree with you completely, both of you so far. Now, Adrian, the one guy that has to be different.
Yeah, I like Creed 1 better.
Surprise, surprise! Adrian likes the first one better.
Surprise! Adrian hates
I like
us.
them both. They're both amazing films.
So wait,
right.
real quick before you give your answer. Hey, Corey, next time you're on Twitter, which Twitter is that again?
CS Podcast 21.
Why don't you put up a poll of whether yes or no, should we kick Adrian off the podcast?
Adrian was shaking his head, yeah.
I thought you were going to say which Creed is better.
I'm
like, good idea.
going to put a poll up for all 4 of us and see if anybody votes on them.
Adrian, go ahead and give your hot take. No, I'm kidding. Your take on Creed 1 v Creed 2.
I'm going to have to go with Rocky 5.
Good call.
No,
Cinematic masterpiece.
No, I enjoyed the first Creed more. I enjoyed the moments between Rocky and Creed a little bit more in the first movie. As anybody who listens to this knows, I've always said I'm a sucker for an origin story. So you have like the roots of Creed here, first learning about who his father was and all that. The pregnancy stuff, him babysitting the baby and the pregnancy kind of took me out of the second movie a little bit. The first act was great. The third act was great. The middle stuff, I was lukewarm on.
Adrian hates real moments in movies. I have to agree with you on the whole like Rocky and I prefer 2. I'm just saying I agree with you with the Rocky and Donnie moments being better in the first one because most of the second one they're fighting and
they reconcile, which is like 10 bonus points.
They reconcile in the first one too.
Shut up. They have a bad relationship.
Yeah, they have a rocky relationship.
Hey,
4 crabs in a trench coat.
Hell yeah, Robert.
Can we acknowledge that Rocky absolutely was right in not wanting to train him for that fucking fight?
Oh, yeah.
No, you're wrong because if he would have trained him, he would have won.
He would not have won.
Like
he did win because he trained him.
No, he was way too arrogant that first time.
He had to know what he was fighting for.
He had hate and blood in his eyes that first time.
I hate to break to you guys, but hate and blood can be a great motivational tool.
Victor Drago will be nothing but dust and blood.
Actually, my theory on Victor was that he's so used to winning right away because he's a machine that when he started to get tired, he actually kind of got scared.
Well, he always won early.
He gassed himself out.
He was never forced to go the distance, and as the fight kept going on,
Victor Drago totally gaslit himself.
Adrian, don't trigger me. Come on.
That was why Ivan was always, telling his son, you got to finish this, because he knew that he didn't have it in him to make it to last.
You said you complained sort of a bit about him babysitting the girl and stuff and 2 and things like that. Why? Well, see, I liked that. I liked seeing that connection that they had.
Yeah, I think that was very important because that's what got him out of his wreckage. Really, the moment he started punching that bag while he was watching his little girl.
Yeah, that was cool.
She's in that that car seat on the edge of the ring. He's just punching it to try to calm her down, and then he's suddenly he gets into it. That to me that was a chilling moment of 2.
Yeah, when she wouldn't stop crying, he didn't know what to do. He took her to where he's comfortable, and then in sitting there trying to calm her down, he realizes this bag's here. I'll just hit it a couple times, show her what Daddy does, and then he was like, "Oh God, that felt good." So he just kept hitting it.
I love when he's punching the bag out of aggression, and he lets out a fucking yell. And starts crying. He picks up his daughter. He's like, I'm sorry. Daddy's being a bitch. That's great. But, he needed that moment, like you said.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I was going to talk about this like closer to the end, but I'll give you guys a little preview so you have an answer for me. I want to know near the end one thing you think that Rocky movies did better than these, and what something you like about Creed more. The biggest thing to me that Rocky has is Rocky as the leading man himself. I love Adonis, and I get why his character development is this way. He's younger. He's kind of more immature.
Yes.
Sometimes he's an asshole.
He is.
Oh yeah, he definitely.
Rocky, even if he's simple-minded, he's like the sweetest. He's just a good guy. So you're like a little more endeared to the character of Rocky.
That's actually my biggest problem with Creed 2 is he's too arrogant, and like I think his upbringing and his juvenile side of his
juvenile
side
detention center
was coming out when he was challenged, and he wasn't thinking clearly, and he's still a kid, I guess. At least in, what was he supposed to be, like 15 or 16 when Marianne came and got him from juvie?
God, he looked younger than that.
Was he?
Yeah, he wasn't old.
Oh, I thought he was a lot older than that, but...
No, to finish my point, though, I understand when Rocky doesn't want to train him, I kind of get both of their points there, but Adonis takes these shots at Rocky in both of the Creed movies. Like these unnecessary shots that I'm like, wow, that was a really asshole thing to say.
Yeah.
And in the second one, I understand Donnie getting mad that he doesn't want to train him, but when like Rocky comes to visit him in the hospital after he gets his ass beat, and he turns to Rocky and acts like the whole thing is his fault, like that's not Rocky's fault. Like he said he doesn't want to train you, and you're acting like he just like abandoned you and he doesn't care about you. He told you not to take the fight.
He even said in the speech about why he won't train him, Ivan broke things in me that still haven't healed. I don't want to see that happen to you.
His brain.
And then Donnie ends it by saying like, well, at least this time you won't be around to not throw in the towel. Like, that's a fucking cheap shot, dude.
Yeah.
That might be your dad, but that's Rocky's best friend. Like
your dad, who, by the way, you didn't know.
Yeah.
But that's not shit that you think of in those moments. Like,
no.
You just... when you're having those.
In both movies, like, Adonis, he's hard to watch sometimes because, like, dude, fucking grow up a little bit. Like, this man loves you like a son, and he shits on Rocky a lot in the two movies. Obviously, he redeems himself in both movies, and they become close again. But that's one of my issues with Adonis, although I love him.
Would you have always felt that way, like, at every age of your life? Or is it now, like, as someone in their 30s with that, thinking about that scene?
I've always hated
you feel like
that personality.
I mean,
okay.
Yeah, probably a little more so now.
Definitely more now that I'm older. But
here's the thing. Rocky never took they had arguments, but Rocky never took shots at Adonis.
It's true.
Like Adonis
Rocky never took cheap shots at anybody.
At anybody. Adonis just said some fucked up shit for no reason. Like when Rocky's like has cancer in the first one and he visits him in the jail cell. He's like, "Get the hell out of my face, you sick old man. Get away from me." Like, what the fuck, dude? He loves you.
Yeah.
But I get it. It's character development. I'm not going to speak to Creed 3, but it's character development. I get it.
I think by the end of 2, he was pretty well past that, in my opinion.
He got pretty humbled there in 2.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes, he did. Victor humbled the shit out of his face and ribs.
Dude, that was such a brutal fight to watch too.
It
like,
was.
I'm like, the entire time you're just like, dude, can you do anything?
I am gonna point out, since Adrian wanted to know this, or Doug, I don't even know who asked the fucking question.
I said it.
Give the credit to me, asshole.
Was it you that said something Rocky did better and something Creed did better?
Yeah.
That was me.
Okay, Mike, to answer your question, the thing I think Creed did better, and this might hurt Adrian a little bit, I think the fights are better. I think they're more fun to watch.
I think they're way better.
That's my positive for Creed.
Okay.
Yeah, like they actually put their hands up to try to avoid getting hit in the face.
That's true.
They dodge, they block. But, from a filmmaking perspective, the camera work,
yes,
the cinematography, the choreography.
I think that goes back to what I said.
The slow motion punches don't make me crack up in Creed. In Rocky, they always made me laugh, but in Creed, I'm actually like, ooh.
There's not a lot of slow motion punches either. Like they kind of overuse those in Rocky movies.
They did.
What are you talking about?
Not that I didn't love it.
It's because they didn't have any like actual boxing going on, so they had to like slow down the punches and make.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Probably like 5 minutes of the
fine.
15 minutes of the boxing match is all slow mo.
The thing I think Rocky did better is Creed 2 had Ivan Drago in it, but didn't have somebody doing a 3-take of binoculars.
So in your mind, Rocky doesn't do anything better than Creed except that damn joke.
No, Rocky did something better. I'll think of it. Just give me a minute.
He definitely beat Drago better.
You were absolutely right. You were absolutely right about Rocky being a way more humble, likable protagonist.
Yeah.
Like, I love Rocky way more than I love Adonis, but Adonis has his own, like, personality things that I really love. Like, he overcame, even though Rocky overcame some things, he kind of just overcame being a schlub.
Yeah.
Where Adonis had to overcome, like, literally a fucked up childhood, from what I can tell, to become the person he is today. So the little bit of an asshole he is, kind of understandable, even though he says some fucked up things.
Without us ever getting to see it, I think we can all say that if you end up as a bone breaker for a 2-bit mafioso, you probably had a rough upbringing.
I was going to say, to be fair, we don't know about Rocky's upbringing.
I mean, he kind of just mentions that it was a lack of options. He doesn't say anything about it being how he grew up or anything.
Yeah, but he's humble.
He makes a comment towards Adonis in these movies that he's like speaking from experience about his father. So it makes me think that maybe he had a rough upbringing with his dad, but they don't really go into detail about that. There's just something minor that I caught. I kind of agree and disagree at the same time. Like, I don't really see Adonis as an asshole. He's very emotional and he gets passionate about stuff. And, you know, when as a young person, when things don't go his way, he gets angry. But like the when you mentioned that moment when he about throwing in the towel, that one I was kind of like, okay, that was a low blow. As far as Rocky goes, you're right. The fucking worst thing he ever did was when he was screaming at Mick in the first movie, and that wasn't bad. He was just fucking speaking his mind.
Mike said he doesn't like that we called him an asshole because that's not accurate. And I was going to say, how about we just reword that and say he lets his emotions get the best of him.
Yeah.
He's not an asshole. He just reacts incorrectly.
And me personally, like, knowing a lot of people like that, you know, it doesn't necessarily make you an asshole.
Nah, they're assholes.
But there's good people out there too that are like that.
No, but here's the thing: you can be angry, but Creed says multiple things that are really fucked up, and you can't take those back.
Yeah.
Hold on, you tell me that you've never been in an argument and you said something that you didn't regret?
I mean, maybe that I regretted, not like something so fucked up.
We've all been in an argument where we said shit that we shouldn't have said.
Oh, I've said some really fucked up shit. You can't even imagine.
When you're angry at the heat of the moment, you say shit you don't actually mean.
Oh no, you mean it.
Well, sometimes you might mean it, but like it's almost like when you're angry, you know the right thing to say to stab somebody in the chest.
Yeah, get under their skin or piss them off.
It's things that it's like nitpicky things about friends that you hate, but you don't ever want to bring up because you can deal with them on your own. But then in certain moments, you're like, you know what? I think this about you.
But would any of you disagree that Rocky is more lovable than Creed?
No, Rocky's 100% more lovable.
He's a stand-up dude.
I like the whole broken protagonist thing, like somebody with like some negative aspect. I don't like just the I'm good in every way.
And like the guy that broke legs for the Mafia.
Yeah, like it was kind of there, but it just seemed...
Yeah, it was kind of glossed over.
And not just that, but like compared to like shit we've seen today, it just does. You almost don't even notice that as like a negative thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Plus, in Rocky 1, the first guy he does that to, he lets off with a "I'll pay it later."
He couldn't even do it. Right?
That's what I'm gonna say. Like, I feel like if Adonis is in that same situation, he would have fucking did it,
and then he would have felt bad about it later.
Yeah,
exactly. After he fucked up that guy's life forever.
It's just a thumb.
Irreparable damage.
Go to the hand doctor, Ty. Anyway.
Mike, did you answer what you like more about? What you think Rocky did better? What you think Creed did better? It doesn't have to be like a list, just one thing.
I think that Rocky had a lot more uplifting moments.
Yeah.
But I think Creed had a lot more real moments.
It's a good answer. Okay, so I guess that's one. Yeah, no, that's one thing they each did better. That's a good answer.
Do you want examples? I mean,
no. I guess you gave me both of them.
What a Toby moment there. Because it's at night and it's a dangerous warehouse. It's a school night and there's beer.
Like, I'm sitting here thinking about it, and it's not that like fucking like the Rocky movies didn't have real moments. It's just that the real moments in Creed are so much more relatable to us because we're not from the 70s.
Yeah. True.
Well, true, but I mean, I don't know.
I think that's
okay. We're not from the 70s, but we can all relate to getting punched in the face by Mr. T.
Yes.
I wish.
Been there.
My face hasn't been the same since.
All right, Doug. So what was your answer? Did you say one thing?
I know. I typically am the new is just fine, if not better guy.
New is always better.
You're Barney Stinson, we know.
When it comes to movies and stuff, I genuinely feel like it's just in like so many ways that matter. Modern day movies are just so much higher skill level. I'm not saying that there weren't like those high level like actors and directors and stuff in the old days. It's just not like literally every character on the screen was like did a better job than every character on the screen in like Rocky.
That's
You
fair.
know what I mean?
In my opinion, and this is going to be controversial for movie fans, I think there's a higher caliber of acting nowadays than there was back then.
Yeah, that's
I
a
think
great
movies
way to say
were
it.
raw and great back then, but I think acting demands more of the actors now.
I
There's-
think older movies had better stories. They were more focused on the stories.
I'll give you that. The stories were probably a little more uplifting and interesting.
Now everything else is better. The acting, the effects, all that shit.
There's a reason that actors back in like the 60s and 70s, like there's a reason there was a lot of like major prominent ones, because when you had a good actor, you had a good actor.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
because there was only like a few at the top.
Yeah, nowadays, like obviously, we have our Leos, we have our Denzels, but like there's just so many.
But they've been
more.
around since back then. Like that's the thing.
There's so many more good actors now. Like there's just like you can mention one, and I'm a perfect example of this. Like you can mention one, and I'll be like, oh, who the fuck is that?
Yeah, right.
But they're fucking brilliant in the movie.
That's actually something Anthony Mackie even addressed. He said it's crazy, dude. Like people now, and they're great actors. He said, but people don't come to see Chris Evans; they come to see Captain America. People
Yeah.
don't come to see Anthony Mackie; they come to see the Falcon. Like he said, that's kind of what it's become.
That's because people like the level of acting is to the point where they become like that character becomes so real to
Yeah.
people
Yeah,
because it's just portrayed.
it's still real to
so-
me, damn it.
Exactly. That's something amazing about the original Rocky movies to me is
Sam
that
Raimi.
they all feel like real characters even today. But every movie's like that now, where everyone feels like real characters.
So, how did you guys feel about the audacity of Ivan Drago walking into Adrian's and talking to Rocky the way he did? especially when he sees the picture of Apollo and he's like, "That's a nice picture."
Nice picture.
And then to point out no pictures of me,
Yeah,
yeah,
like to ask that question, like, why ain't I in here?
yeah, that was bold.
Okay, so more audacity, Ivan walking into Adrian's, or more audacity, Victor's mom walking in because he's a champion all of a sudden?
Oh god.
Which one was more audacity?
I loved Victor's response to the whole situation. It's like, we
Me
don't
too.
need these people. Fuck
He
these
was
people.
absolutely right, too.
Yeah, he's like, why are we at dinner with these people that fucking abandon you?
Yeah, why are we here?
She is the real villain of that movie. It's not Victor
Yes.
or Ivan.
Which is funny because in Rocky IV, she was kind of like a voice of reason almost.
yeah.
And now she's like evil.
That scene though, when Victor is like trashing all those people and everything, it was such a humbling moment for Ivan because he's like, I lost. Like he yells at him, he's like, I lost. Like he was telling, like, I deserve this.
Right, in his mind, he deserves like everyone who loves him to abandon him. That's fucked up.
That's
So-
what it was like during the
Right,
Soviet
yeah.
times.
That's true.
So like that, it was very humbling. It was nice to see like a humbled Ivan Drago there. So, but yeah, that whole scene was great. Like the fact that when you first see her walk in, you fucking know it's her.
Well, Bridget Nielsen has a very particular look.
It just the look on Victor's face, like you're like, he's gonna fucking blow up at some point during this scene.
Yeah, as soon as he sees her, he like tenses up in his seat.
Like,
Yep.
because like we said, that guy's not like a normal. Like he is an actor, but like he's also a fighter.
Yeah,
He really killed it.
he's phenomenal
Like-
in this movie. Yes,
Well, he's actually a pretty well-known actor in Russia.
Is it
So
okay?
he does
pretty
have
well-known
training.
actor in Russia.
All right, that makes sense.
Thank you. I wish. The way the Soviet Russia is and was back then when he lost and lost everything,
It makes sense.
it makes sense, but it also is why Rocky IV, the way it ends, wouldn't happen. He would beat Drago. They don't just all of a sudden respect Rocky. They would probably be mad about it. And I don't think all the guys would have stood up and clapped for Rocky. I think they would have been angry.
You mean like how everybody stood up and clapped for?
Yeah,
Creed?
I think a lot of people would have been too scared to clap, first of all. And then all those guys that were in the booth, I don't think they would have clapped. I think they would have turned their nose up and been like,
Hey, can we stop hating on the fact that Rocky entered the Cold War? Why do you gotta keep being negative about that?
I mean, I know that's historically accurate.
Well, it's
but I'm
cold,
just saying-
Mike. It's sometimes
Well,
the
it's cold.
temperatures get negative.
That's true.
Listen, Snake took part in the Cold War, but Rocky ended the Cold War.
That's right.
The Cold War. Anyway, I think what's like your like favorite moment in 2?
Oh, there's so fucking many, honestly.
I have two, I'll say.
Okay.
I think it is one of the better training montages out in the desert.
Yes.
I love that whole thing with like Rocky teaching, because Adonis had that fear, like after he got his ribs broken, how he has his foot inside the tire to stay
Yep.
close. He's like hitting him in the fucking stomach with the medicine ball. people are wondering why he does that neck weight thing. But like, if you have a stronger neck, it stops your head from snapping back when you get punched.
Yeah.
So that's good for like concussions.
Yeah, not just that, it acts like a fucking spring of it and like absorbs it.
Yeah, exactly. And then the other one I think a lot of us are going to say is one of our favorites is when Ivan actually comes up and throws the talon for his son.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Because that's like at that moment, like, and they kind of set it up because like,
You thought he wasn't.
yeah, Victor's mom and all them get up and walk away.
Yeah, I thought he was walking out on him.
It looks like Ivan's getting up to walk away. And he fucking stands up and throws in the towel. And like when he hugs his kid and he says, "It's okay."
Yeah, no, like that whole scene was incredible.
Those are probably my two favorite.
About the montage, and when you bring that up, actually one of my favorite scenes is within the montage. When he stumbles and falls on the road.
Oh yeah.
The fact, like, he forces himself to get back up and keep going, like that just was like.
And
really
the way
powerful
Rock
to
is
me.
looking in the mirror, just get up, kid.
Yep.
Get up, kid.
Yes.
And they do the beautiful parallel with that, like how Rocky in the first movie and the second movie, like he's outrunning the kids. And then you see fucking Creed outrunning the vehicle. Like the camera cuts away from the vehicle and you just see from Creed running. So good.
Yeah.
Well, it's similar to how in Rocky 4 he outran the car in the snow and it wrecked into a snowbank.
I will say I think Creed 2 makes me like Rocky 4 a little bit more.
It definitely added some needed depth to
be
Drago.
fair, as much as Rocky 4 is my favorite Rocky, there could have been more story to that movie.
Well, that's why you need to watch the Rocky versus Drago cut.
Then when you get Creed 2, you get more story. Plus,
or this other cut of the movie that Adrian told us about.
You guys have to watch it.
Have you?
Yeah, I have.
Does it make it better?
It makes it way, in my opinion, it gets rid of some of the goofy.
Well, I mean, yeah, the robot's not in it, so clearly
the
it's
robot's
already, like,
not
10
in
times
it.
better.
Right.
I know Doug loves that fucking robot.
Well, I can't watch that.
I don't know why we're talking. I don't know why we're talking shit on the fuckbot.
Yeah, I
Paulie's fuckbot.
If I could afford a fuckbot, why not?
How do you think Paulie died? He died of robot cancer.
Oh,
he
that's
got
true.
no, he got robot AIDS.
Robot AIDS.
robot
chlamydia.
He got raids. And now a word from some other brilliant podcasts.
I downloaded an episode of Netflix and Swill. Does this mean I get to watch Netflix now?
No, you can't watch Netflix until you understand the phrase poop.
Poop?
Once you understand poop, you'll understand your place as a listener of this podcast. But what does poop mean? It's actually a carefully organized code. Listen closely. People order our podcast.
Oh, poop.
Looks like Mr. Caleb understands poop. Here's a typical podcast listener. I wonder what they want. Well, if we remember poop, we can figure it out.
I'd like to watch.
Do you think they're going to watch A, an Amy Schumer comedy special, B, Gypsy, or C, a good show?
One good show, please.
Poop, you never let us down. Now that you understand poop, I bet you think you're ready to watch Netflix.
Netflix!
Haha, not so fast, Eager McBeaver. You still need to finish listening to Netflix and Swill. You can find the show at netflixandswill.com or on your favorite podcast service. And now, to talk about personal hygiene.
Join your host Cam Sully each week as he chats with special guests to discuss many an insane movie and numerous cult TV phenomenons.
Listener discretion is advised.
It's a jacked up review show. It's a jacked up review show. Jacked up review show.
For me, like that scene you were talking about with when he goes to throw the towel and tells him it's okay and everything, like that's probably my favorite scene in the entire history of Rocky, if I'm gonna be honest.
Nice.
Like that added so much character, like development growth. I love these Creed movies. Like I think I just like them even more than
the Rocky movies,
where they came from. Yeah,
I think there's an argument to be made too. When Ivan threw that towel in and hugged his son, that might be the moment that Rocky decided to go to Robert. Like,
I 100% think it is. Like if this guy can do it, then
if this son of a bitch, if this robot can have a human moment with his son.
Drago did do one thing that Rocky can never do. He did throw in the towel.
Exactly.
And even showed Rocky. He was so shocked when he saw him get up there. He was like, couldn't believe it. He learned the lesson.
I didn't see that coming. Like I said, because the way they set it up with his mom and that guy leaving, and then
So you thought Ivan was leaving too?
It made him look, because he gave that look to his son, like, ugh. And then he started walking away. It made you think, like, oh fuck, he's walking out on his son. Are you fucking serious right now? And then it shows him again getting up on the ring, and you're like, wait, what the fuck is he doing?
I think the biggest problem there is, in real life, Sylvester Stallone and Dolph Lundgren are really good friends.
Yeah.
And I don't think Sylvester Stallone would have made him a villain again like he was in the 70s and 80s. Like Dolph Lundgren was kind of hated after he was Ivan Drago. I don't think he would have done that to him.
Sylvester Stallone didn't write that movie, though.
I didn't say he did.
Oh.
I see what you're saying. Like, he had a say in the movie. So
He had a huge say in what happened, and I'm sure he told them that he can't be a villain again.
Yeah, so a fun fact about that movie is when Lundgren came back, he was actually trying to keep himself away from Stallone so he could really play up that enemy. And Stallone would like just keep coming up and like joking around with him, and he got so annoyed. He's like, dude, stay the fuck away from me.
I am trying to be serious.
I'm trying to method act here.
I'm trying to hate you right now.
Exactly.
If I can answer the question, I was actually having a really hard time picking between two. But I think I'm going to go with my absolute favorite scene in the movie. And that's after Adonis beats Victor and he's looking down at Rocky, and Rocky says, "This is your time, kid. This is your time to shine. I'm just the background guy now." And then when he goes back and sits and the camera pans out and it just says Creed on his back. Beautiful moment. Like that, it gives me chills.
The passing of the torch.
The passing of the torch moment. If you have another place to end that movie besides where they did, like that was the moment.
Yeah. When it's just him outside the ring and all the light in the ring.
And then credits.
Yeah, I would have been happy with that.
I'd have been happy with it, but I think there was a certain number of people that would have been like, so he didn't even reconcile with his son? Like, that wasn't even a thing.
You're right.
Because they did kind of mention it.
Yeah, but it would have been even funnier for
funnier, yes.
The series.
Would have been great for those four crabs in
and
the trench
there's
coat.
nothing else left to talk about.
No, but that send-off with Rocky at the end, another one of my favorite moments, when his granddaughter answers the door, and she does look a lot like fucking a young Talia Shire.
She does.
He says, "You look just like his mom." But honestly, this is a moment that it hurts to even say this, but if Stallone never appears like as Rocky again at this moment, I can live with that. I'm happy.
I think it would be
send-off.
beautiful that he lived the rest of his life getting to know his granddaughter.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
He should just stay in Chicago
and getting to know his son.
Oh, wait, Vancouver.
As in Vancouver, whatever. It's north.
You know, he raised at this point. Rocky raised two kids. He figured out why not raise his own at this point. You know.
Welcome to Geography with Mike. It's north.
And if you have to have like a legacy scene where they show Rocky, just have Adonis fly there and just talk to him about something real quick, and then that's the only scene.
Honestly, I'd rather him be like passed away and the granddaughter just has a picture of him on a side table.
You're absolutely right. I'd rather him be that way, but fans will demand things certain times, and sometimes they'll go too far with the fan service.
They can't demand shit when he's dead.
Unfortunately,
until he finds the Infinity Stone.
Unfortunately for fans, Stallone wants nothing to do with the franchise anymore.
That could change tomorrow, though.
No, yeah, Stallone said like if
he wanted nothing to do with it at the beginning.
Stallone said recently if a Creed 4 ever happened and Winkler wasn't involved, if they wanted him for the story, he would listen to it. He said, he's fine going out how he did. He said, but if 4 happens and Winkler is not a part of it, he'll listen to Michael B. Jordan. He loves that kid.
He has tremendous respect for Michael B. Jordan.
Oh, yeah. He loves him, yeah.
Like, remember when they were doing ad spots for this movie originally, and he posted that video of him getting knocked out for real?
Yep. Yeah, Michael B. Jordan definitely got knocked out.
Several times. He made a professional puncher knock him out until he got used to it.
They said it's like a rite of passage for this franchise. You got to get your ass knocked out if you want to be the man.
Yeah.
So just one other quick question I have, and I mean, you guys can talk about whatever, but Mike kind of talked about my answer for this earlier without realizing it. Is there anything that you wish, is there another thing you wanted to see in these movies, see them tackle? And my thing is, I would have liked to see at some point Adonis's relationship with Mary Ann's other kids.
Yeah,
I feel like that could have
nice.
added an element, like a dynamic, like what they think of each other, what they think of.
Even just a family dinner where they're all there.
Yeah, exactly.
Wasn't he a lot younger? Wasn't that the thing?
He would have been younger, yeah.
Yeah, he is a lot younger.
I think when she took him in, they were out of the house.
Yeah, like they were all adults and gone already. That's what, like half the reason. And then she found out about him and went and got him.
So I guess maybe he might not have much of a relationship with them.
Probably not. That's my guess.
Man, that happens.
Yeah, they like
Like
fuck, they
kids that are
probably-
born when the other ones are 15 or 16. Sometimes those brothers and sisters just don't really have a relationship.
And why would you really? Like,
Yeah.
you're.
It's like a cousin you see at dinners and stuff.
Yeah, it's just the age gap is too big.
I did think it was kind of cool that the guy that's training at the gym is Duke's son. I thought that was pretty neat. So it was kind of cool that, you know,
The dude from fucking Remember the Titans.
yeah.
Wood Harris.
Oh, yeah. Fucking Julius.
Yep.
Wood Harris.
No, Julius.
No, he's
Shut up.
Julius.
Rod
Wood
Woodson.
Harris.
Rod Woodson.
And did you know his name in the movie is Little Duke?
His
Little Duke.
name in the movie is Strong Side. Oh,
Left side.
Are you blind? That's my brother. Can't you see the family resemblance?
God, I love that movie.
greatest fucking sports movie ever.
All right, guys, it's 12:08 a.m. How about we start the Rumor of the Titans episode?
All right, let's do it.
Are you guys okay with my little thing there? Would you like to see the family dynamic? Is there something
Yes.
small or big you wish they would have put in
Yeah,
these movies?
it didn't need to be like some big deal, but like just something to acknowledge that he does have other family.
Yeah.
Because they say a lot where he doesn't really have anybody and stuff like that, and like he's got Rocky, he's got his mom, he's got Bianca.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't have anybody. Got brothers and sisters that he fucking apparently has never met.
Having brothers and sisters and having somebody are two different things.
Yeah, that's true. And real quick,
It's
here's
true. My brother fucking sucks.
Hi, Matt.
Mine too.
Damn it, you beat me to it. Yeah, just real quick, because I feel like we've said a little bit, but not much. Love Tessa Thompson in these movies. I love their chemistry together. Their relationship feels real. You know, you feel the pitfalls.
Is that really her singing?
That's a good question.
Sure sounds like her.
Because, like, if so, kudos. She's really good.
It really sounds like her voice.
Did you guys like her little intro? Like when she
did.
came out and sang with them?
I actually loved that. At first, I was like kind of shocked that he was like kind of putting on a show to come out in Russia.
In Russia.
Because Victor didn't do that in America.
Surprised me a little bit too, because after losing, I felt like he was more level-headed going into it.
I think it was
because the first fight he came in with all the triangles and he was like hitting and trying to showboat a little bit. I thought this one he would be more dry and come in.
I think if it hadn't been for his wife singing the song, or I guess fiance singing the song, that he wouldn't have done it. I think it was just as much supporting her career as she was supporting his.
Absolutely. Yeah, who wins the fight? Fucking Stallone after Rocky after Adrian telling him you can do it, or Adonis Creed after she sings his intro? That brings up just a good question in general. Rocky, what do you think Rocky was at his peak? Rocky 4?
Probably 3.
I think 3. I think
End of Rocky 3.
Yeah, but
after-
you
when he
gotta
was in
think-
Clever Lang shape.
You gotta think though, Drago is probably the toughest fucking guy he's ever faced.
That
He
doesn't
still
mean
took
he
him
was
out.
in his prime.
That dude wasn't human.
Yeah, he was a machine.
Okay, so just let's say Rocky 3,
He
Rocky
broke
4,
him.
Rocky, or Creed 2, Adonis. Who do you think wins a fight in their prime? We'll go to the Rocky Balboa debate, the video game. Who do you think wins?
Well, I don't know. Let's ask the ESPN guys.
So I'm gonna do that same thing where, like, you know, people are like more skilled actors and stuff. I think in just about every aspect of like physical sport or something technically skilled, people today are just better at it than they were then,
Yeah.
because we've learned and piled on and culminated all those skills over time, and people learn things faster and they know how to, all the people have already done things wrong enough that we know how to do it right now. So I think modern day boxers would just sweep up a lot of old legends.
Plus, you know, Adonis actually blocks shots to his face.
Yeah, that's nice.
Well, that's kind of what I was going to say is you put Rocky in his prime against Adonis in his prime. Adonis is going to, I don't think Rocky can take the blows to his face that Adonis can land. In the 70s, a lot of that was jabs that were going to his face. Adonis doesn't throw a whole lot of just jabs.
Yeah,
it's
but-
mostly hooks.
Ivan Drago and Clubber Lang are a lot stronger than Adonis, and he took all those
Probably.
shots to the face.
Probably.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
No, I think that's probably my nostalgia speaking, but I'd take Rocky. Cast iron jaw, he never runs out of stamina.
I know. Like, I totally get where you're coming from too.
I'm always
Right.
going to say Rocky.
And like, people are like Rocky Marciano, and like real life people are like Rocky Marciano would wipe the floor with, no,
With like
Tyson
Durant.
Fury would have buried him.
Tyson Fury is a beast.
He's the greatest that's ever gotten the ring. We've just come so far in like athleticism and sports and like just things that you can be skilled at. It's just a whole new level in today's age.
Yeah.
And I know that's going to piss so many people off to hear me say that. It's okay to be left behind. Stop taking it personally.
You have freaks of nature, like Lawrence Taylor would fit in just as well today as
Oh
he did.
yeah. There are those people that just
transcend
like,
time. Yeah.
But now it's like that's the average skill level now. Those old legends are like,
there's like 50 of those guys in the league.
Yeah, and some of them ride the bench.
Well, I think you guys were pretty. I think you three are saying Adonis again. I'm being the odd man out. I just can't not say Rocky in his prime. The dude can get punched 10,000 times in the face and get back up. I just don't think you can stop Rocky. He has too much tenacity.
I don't know. I think I'm sticking with Adonis. Rocky definitely.
If you can beat Ivan Drago, that dude was literally a machine.
It really depends. Like, because the times we see Rocky being like that is usually because it's something like fucking major put him in that mindset to be that way.
That's fair. Like Adonis would be like more like a friend.
Yeah, so I think Adonis takes it just
in that sense.
Rocky's not going to have that hunger to beat him. Even in his prime, I don't think he would have that hunger to beat him. Now, if Adonis for whatever reason pissed him off, killed his best friend, or anytime Rocky's pissed and has a reason to fight,
oh yeah,
Rocky's going to win.
He pissed on his turtles, Cuff and Link.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, Adonis is fucked.
They were thirsty, Rock, so I gave them water. Well, you shouldn't have done that, kid.
Well, guys, let us know. Let us know who you think would win in a fight, Prime Rocky or Prime Adonis.
Are they Marvel variants?
Corey, I don't know if you want to put up a Twitter poll or if we can just like say if you fucking listen to the episode, just let us know on Facebook or something. That would be fun.
I got a lot of polls I got to put up.
I was going to say, Corey doesn't.
Adonis Prime sounds like a crazy character from a comic book.
It does. So we have who would win in a fight, Prime Rocky, Prime Adonis. Should Adrian be kicked off the podcast? Yes or no?
No, I thought they were just going to put our names in who should be kicked off the podcast.
Oh, that's right. Is Robert really just 4 crabs in a trench coat?
True. No, I mean,
no, that's Mike.
I'm Robert. So we hit the hard-hitting questions here.
Welcome to Culture Shock. We've told you everything you ever wanted to know. I do have one thing I want to say about Creed 2. Who is fucking awesome.
Oh, you had the fucking awesome for this one.
Corey, any last thoughts before I ask my final question of you guys and then wrap this up?
No, my only final thoughts are, to be more accurate, and less stupid.
much less stupid.
I honestly just am so happy with the way Rocky kind of passed the torch at the end there and decided to go spend time with his family, that I think that movie ended beautifully, but I feel like it slightly took away from it being the end of a Creed movie. Like it made it more about Rocky there at the end.
Creed had his moment at the grave too, introducing his baby to his dad.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
To me, the more touching thing was Rocky finally going home. And
oh yeah, I agree. Here's the thing. Both of the Creed movies have a lot of Rocky storyline. That being said, guys, go watch Creed 3 when you get a chance. If you want to see something different.
With no Rocky storyline. Probably. All right, my last question for you guys is, if you had to, the ratings we gave with the Rocky movies, slotting Creed 1 and 2 in, where are they? And Adrian, if you want to do 3, add 3 to the mix, go for it without spoiling. But yeah, I want to know where the Creeds fall in your Rocky lineup.
Creed falls right under Rocky. It's 1-2.
Okay.
Rocky, Creed.
Damn. What about Creed 2?
I would probably say, it's so hard to say, just like I didn't prepare anything. Rocky, Creed, man, Rocky 3 just holds a special place in my heart for nostalgia's sake. Rocky, Creed, Rocky 3 still. Maybe then Rocky 2. I mean, Creed 2, Rocky 2.
I was going to say, there's no way you put Rocky 2 above
No,
Creed 2, right?
Creed 2.
Okay.
Then the rest of my list. It's too early to say with Creed 3. I don't know yet.
Okay.
For me, it's actually really easy. Creed 2 right behind Rocky 4, and I think Creed probably right below Rocky 1.
So Rocky 4, Creed 2, Rocky,
1,
Creed.
and then Creed, yep.
Cool. So we both have Creed and 1 and 2 in our top 4 somewhere.
Yeah, they're great fucking movies.
Make it another one. I'm going to say probably Rocky 3, Creed 2, Rocky Balboa, Rocky 4, Creed 1, and then the rest of my list.
The original Rocky just keeps dropping on your list.
It does. I love it, but
my Rocky list actually jumped around a little bit from when we did a Rocky episode.
If you want to do your full one, you can. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say my guess is 1 or 2 Creed movies are at the top of Doug's list.
My number 1 movie is Creed 2, actually. It's like my favorite in the whole franchise.
Beautiful.
You know, it's like the same reason I'm like a sucker for like Vegeta and Dragon Ball, characters that go through extreme character development and growth. Like I have a soft spot for.
And by the way, I think one single moment showed a ton of development for Adonis. When Rocky comes and visits him in LA and he says, "You just can't fight a guy that big with your style. It'll never work." And like Adonis doesn't get pissed. He just looks at him and he walks over and he says, "You saying yours was better?" And he says, "I won, didn't I?"
Yeah.
and Adonis like laughs and hugs him. That is a lot of character development in one moment. That's how you do it.
And that moment was so impactful because he was different before that. That's
And he
why
he was so pissed at him, and then
yeah, he was just happy to see him again.
absolutely.
So like after that, it's probably like my list has shifted up. I've actually, after rewatching Creed 2, Rocky 4 is not as good to me. It's like the same type of story, but just it's done so much better now. It's like
right.
With less cheese.
yeah, which like don't get me wrong, I'm actually kind of a sucker for like that campy cheesy shit.
Cheese is delicious.
Watch Drago versus Balboa. One more time, I'll say.
I don't mind it, but so Rocky 4 is not even at the top anymore. It's probably Rocky 1 right after Creed 2.
Wow.
Cool.
Then probably Rocky Balboa, then Creed, then Rocky 3, then Rocky 4, and
Jesus, 4 fell so far down your list.
it's just
I like it.
like rewatching Creed 2 just put it back in perspective. It's the same style story, just done in such a stronger way. It really makes the faults of 4 more.
Yeah, it makes them more glaring.
It's like I still love this movie, and I still have a crazy soft spot for it because it's just I love the Hearts on Fire. So I'll listen to that song outside of Rocky.
Adrian, you don't have to tell us anything about the movie other than this. Is Hearts on Fire in
Don't
Creed
even
3?
answer that. Don't answer that question.
Yeah, I can't answer that. I'm sorry.
I don't want to know.
And Rocky 4 is great if you want to watch a fucking hour and a half music video.
See, and I do sometimes.
Yeah, I know. I agree. Like I said, I think it's one of the most rewatchable.
Yeah, but it's changed drastically. Adding the Creed story and stuff back into the mix and just like revisiting it all and looking at it all as a whole, it's just changed up my opinion of certain things.
So you can check out my YouTube channel where about 3 to 4 times a year I post videos. That's on Baker Reviews, youtube.com/Baker Reviews.
3 to 4 is a bold statement, people. Make them live up to that.
Wait, hold on. Adrian, where was that?
That's youtube.com/Baker Reviews.
Oh, okay.
Wow, what a dick.
Wow, he's lost motivation to even plug it.
And Corey, what about you? Where can these lovely folks come answer those polls and whatnot if they're reminded?
All the polls that I have to put up.
Yeah, the 45 polls that you're going to post before you go to bed.
I'm not going to put the polls on Facebook, which is Culture Shock Podcast, and Instagram, which is Culture Shock 21, but I am going to put the polls on our Twitter, where I do most of my work, which is CS Podcast 21.
Let us know, Creed or Rocky, who was the better protagonist and why.
Who would win in a fight in their prime, Creed 1 or Creed 2, and who should be kicked off the podcast?
And who would win in a fight, Rocky Prime or 4 crabs in a trench coat? Let us know. Anyway.
That's the important one.
Definitely 4 crabs.
I think that's going to bring us to the end of the show, guys. If you like what you heard, like I said, find us on any of the sites that you get your podcast. Rate us 5 stars, leave a review, let us know. We love feedback and we want to use it. So you got to tell us what you want to hear. From all of us at Culture Shock, thanks for listening.
Creed 3 is awesome.